So today we're looking at the Tekken 8 patch notes. This is the highly anticipated 2 version 03. And basically, this is the final update until after Evo and EWC and all that stuff. So this is an important one, and it should be a significant one because the developers have told us that they um, basically apologize for Season 2 being so aggressive, and then they want to change everything. But so far we haven't seen the change. So far we haven't seen, the alter. The reason why season 2 was review bombed, all of those things are still in the game. So let's see if this update finally takes action towards that. Impact of the update: Super Ghost Battle, Ghost Match, Ghost versus Ghost. So they just fixed some behaviors there. Tekken Lounge: all pre-update messages and stamps will history be deleted. All stamps will not be deleted. I don't know what that means, but okay, fair enough. Um, Downloadable content. So early access for FOCMROM. This is the times where it will begin. But about time you guys see this video, I do know that the maintenance is supposed to last about 6 hours. So the patch notes is going to be here. You're going to have some time to experiment. But you got to, after 6 hours, you'll be able to play FOCMROM, the stage, etc. General access, that's in 3 days. So that's just telling us that. We also know about the pixel stage, which I think is really cool. Some people dislike it because it's too bright, etc. Then you have the skins, which we know a lot about this as well. Fight Pass round 6. All of that stuff there, you guys can pause and read. It's pretty standard. The battle passes are going to be overhauled in a crazy way. The Taylor collaboration. Now, is this free or is this? Yeah, it is free. You see right there, it says free. So that's the most important thing to note there. And then the skin for FOCMROM, this is the avatar skin. And that is 75% off, which is 100 Tekken coins. So I guess if you want that, now's the time to get it. Special deal event. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's the some skins will be on sale. Tekken Fight Lounge, players list added. So that's something that he did for the Fight Lounge. It's good to see these quality of life features. New feature: message board added, allows players to display message above their heads while playing matches or waiting for matches. So let's see how this is abused. People are going to be playing in a match, and you can display messages over your head. Messages can be freely entered or selected, set phrase or step. Display messages can be viewed by approaching the avatar and check in. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. New feature: warp to player, allows you to move near a specific player. Okay, so this is actually really cool. This is a feature that is kind of in the game already, where you can warp to different areas, like the Tekken ball area. You can warp to the Tekken practice area, the Tekken shop. But now you can travel to a specific player instead of teleporting. So that's great. Preset phases stamp feature updated. So what is this? I kind of don't care about the stamps. Looking for yeah, so I'll skip that. You guys can read that if you want. Ghost behavior adjustments, I don't really care about that, but they are working on a ghost for the people who like it. 5 special ghosts with character panel appear. Oh, so these are the new character panels. Definitely do this. It's free. Go into the Tekken Lounge and you could just get all this stuff super easy. Character move behavior fix balance adjustments. In version 2.03, we have implemented further balance adjustments to continue improving balanced environment. This update includes ongoing adjustments to the moves, offers exclusively high reward, and also introduces changes to range arts. We know that range arts are now able to be punished with a rage art, so that means that the frames is like somewhere about minus 17. Ongoing adjustments to moves with excessively high reward. We continued our efforts in version 2.1 to update to address moves that offer disappointingly high reward relative to their risk, as well as high performance moves that can easily repeat advantageous situations and lead to one-sided outcomes. So this is talking about those stances that just loops into themselves. Adjustments to the frame advantage on block for rage arts. We talked about that. So it's minus 18. It says minus 18 right there. Regarding the previous announced character buffs, As announced in the previous patch notes, we originally planned to implement buffs for several characters that would have minimal impact on overall battle balance. However, after careful consideration, we decided to limit the scope of this adjustment to Devil Jin only in order to keep the impact on the several balance to a minimum. So I know Main Man's probably jumping through the roof right now because he just uploaded a video saying that Devil Jin is the weakest character in the game. So the fact that they are going to buff him, I mean, it's good for all the players who continuously talk about Devil Jin nerfs, but also when you talk about Devil Jin having top 10 win rates in the game, how with these buffs, how high is this win rate going to jump now? A lot of people don't care about online win rates. They only care about tournament performance. I know a lot of the Devil Jin mains switch from Devil Jin to characters like Jin, Kazuya, Heihachi, so maybe they will return home. So, considering several major esports tournaments will take place in August, August is not expected to. So basically, what they're saying is they're not going to do an update until after August, right? Now, when we get into the specific changes, so did we just read all of this? Yes, we just read that. So at the bottom, you have some small changes here. You talk about the rage arch throw break. A bug where multiple throws could be escaped simultaneously through specific inputs has been corrected. So that's just normal fixes there. If we look at the next page, this is the character Alyssa, and this is a nerf with 3 neutral changes. Now, considering that I think Alyssa is a diabolical character, seeing that she only received 1 nerf, I kind of don't like that. And this is a frame nerf, which changes it from +3 to +4. So it is giving the players some options to move around, but those +4s can still be pretty brutal. Anna has a lot of stuff here. Some of these, one of them is a buff, but a lot of these are nerfs across the board. You know, a lot of people consider her to be the best character in the game, right? Online and in tournaments. But she has, for her down back 4, they reduced opponent's recovery time by 2 frames on hit, adjusting the frame from +8 to +6. Why was it ever +8? Reduce the input window by 4 frames. For Daring Hammer Chance 2-1-2, the opponent. So this move got gutted. The opponent's recovery time on block has been reduced by 4 frames, and the advantage on block has been changed from +4 to +2. The attack on hitbox has been reduced to mitigate the unintended occurrence of hitting opponents who are behind you. So this move had like weird tracking or weird hitboxes, and that's gone now. The reversal break effect has been removed. So this move is cooked. This move is cooked. They removed that. Tornado is now triggered upon hit for airborne. So this is during Chaos Judgment, take low attack from opponent. So it's weird they don't put an input, so we'll just have to see what that is. But that's really it for her. For the character Asuka, you have during Rage Art. So this is the Rage Art hold, which a lot of people were complaining about. The opponent's recovery time when blocking has been reduced by 16 frames, and the advantage on block has been changed from +3 to -13. So all of the other Rage Arts were able to be launch punished. We know it's -18 now. This one is still -13, so you can't do a 13 frame punish, which some characters have a weak 13 frame punish, but whatever. Reduce the knockback distance when it is attacked on block. So that will probably make it to where everyone can actually hit it. And then for her, whatever this stance transition up forward 1-2, they changed the opponent's behavior upon hit. So that, I mean, if you talk about what Asuka's currently doing, how high the damage is, how crazy the mix-ups are, for this to be what they do to her, it's kind of underwhelming for sure. Azazina, she only got 1 buff. This is the character who we're just discussing on stream, and she doesn't really need much, so, you know, whatever. Now, Brian Fury is a character who a lot of people say is also the second best character, first best character, depending on who you ask, but he has 2 changes here, and this is both nerfs, and it's to his daring. This is his Heat Smash? Yeah. The opponent recovery time when blocking has been reduced by 6 frames. The advantage on block from +15 to +9. That's crazy. Why was it ever at +15? And then his Snake Eyes 3+4-2. The opponent recovery time when blocking has been reduced by 8 frames, and the advantage on block has been reduced by 1 frame, from 1 frame to -9. So he loses his turn. Reduce the knockback distance when attack is blocked, and then they change the opponent's behavior on hit. So it's not a lot for Brian Ferry. You talk about the way people are talking about these characters and the fact that this is it. I mean, it's kind of underwhelming. It's kind of underwhelming. Clive, this is a character a lot of people talk about as well. He has a couple of nerfs here. For his down 1, they increase the distance to the opponent on hit. While rising 3, they reduce the knockback of distance when blocked. His heat forward 2-2-1, they change the behavior from +2 to -9, so he loses his turn. And then his heat 2-2 hold, whatever, same thing, but you hold it that time. The frame is changed from +13 to +11, so he still gets, a pretty significant mix-up, but it's not as significant. You may be able to move around. Whenever you see a subtle shift like that, it probably means something huge in tournament, because those guys will understand how to move properly and fully take advantage of the situation. Now, Devil Jin, the character that they said is the only character to be buffed, you can see the 4 buffs coming in strong. While Rising 2, they changed it from 15 to 16, from 14 to 15. So small change, but still a buff. Down 3+4, the hitbox of the second attack has been expanded downward, alleviating instances where the attack would whiff partway through. And then for his While Rising 3, you can now use the move with, so that is his 4 down forward 1+2. I know what Kazuya's does, but I can't think of what his does. During heat, 4 down 4-3, and then on hit, no, 4-3. Is that his hell sweep? You guys correct me. The tracking capability of the second hit has been enhanced, mitigating the occurrence of whiffing partway through. Is that his hell sweep? Because I know he does the hell sweep, and then he does that axe kick, and I think that axe kick is what they're buffing, so it doesn't whiff. Is that what they're doing? I think so. So down forward 1-4 hitbox has been expanded down. So these are just normal changes here. Hitbox changes, but it is expanding the hitbox downwards so that moves don't whiff. So this is them. We really don't focus on the neutral changes like that, but these neutral changes are things that players complain about when they're talking about, my character doesn't work properly, the move isn't reaching. So those kind of things are what they're fixing there, right? Eddie, he has neutral changes all the way through, where they're just fixing hurt boxes and things of that stuff. So that's good for that character. Fang Wei, 1 nerf, and this is to his heat, the hold forward input of 1+2. And they changed the recovery time from +12 to +11. Harang is a diabolical character, bro, and he has no nerfs. Jack has no nerfs either. And I don't think only thing about Jack is his heat smash and like guard break situation is a little brutal. But Harang having no nerfs here is kind of crazy, bro. And then Jin, if you ask one person, they think he needs nerfs. Some people think he doesn't need nerfs. I personally think he can slide this update, but in the next update, maybe they can handle. But so many characters are sliding this update. Harang slid. What are we talking about? Jin slide, But Jun Kazama, this is the character. She has 1 buff. Jun Kazama, that full screen heat thing, that should be nerfed. That's too powerful. And did they nerf it? No. That's kind of crazy. No nerf for no nerf for the Jun Kazama there, huh? King neutral changes. No damage nerfs, no tailspin nerfs, just neutral. Kuma neutral changes. Panda is pretty powerful because she has that wall Loki grab that's being abused even at tournament level. People were dying to it. So the fact that they didn't make that more fair, pretty absurd. Lars, Law, Lee, Leo, Leroy, all of these are just neutral changes. I am seeing a lot of like collision detected, fixing whiff on like the opponent whiffing attacks. These are very important things that they're fixing, like the game is going to work properly. But when you talk about how powerful moves are, like the game wasn't review bombed because moves are whiffing. The game was review bombed because things are not because things are like too powerful. They're putting you in a super oppressive situation where you just have to guess. So I I think that, all of these updates that have followed their apology, it's just not living up to the players' expectations with the new development team and all. Lydia has another buff. No one asked for that. The startup attack has been changed from 17 frames to 1718. And then she has two buffs. The hitbox has been expanded, alleviating instances where the attack would miss in certain situations. Wow. Wow. These devs, I know Twitter's going to be very upset about this. They're probably complaining as we speak. I'm going to make a video about that for sure because it's probably going to be funny. Lily, neutral changes all the way through. I dislike her low heat smash and how that bad boy is being used, but it's not being touched in this one. Nina has one buff, and this is for her back 1-4. And the opponent's behavior after the first hit was adjusted so that they face the player. So wait, how's that a buff? What was she in back turn? Was she off axis? Paul has two nerfs for his back 2-1. The opponent behavior on counter has been changed, so that's probably big. And then his hold input has been changed from 35 to 27, so that's a 8-frame difference. Raven, nothing there, even though a lot of people talk about how diabolical he is. Reyna, this character is pretty bizarre. Reyna's okay. One nerf, that's perfectly fine. Shahid, they got to get rid of Shahid's guard break. Shahid's guard break. His guard break loops are terrible. Steve Fox, a lot of people talked about him, but here he has neutral changes, but they are fixing a lot of stuff. So what is this? This is his down 4-2. The incorrect frame advantage display during transition into ducking was corrected. The accurate values are as follow. Oh, okay. So that's not really a change at all. They're more so just changing what the game is telling you about the character, about what the character is doing. Victor, they buffed his forward 1+2. They expanded the hitbox so that moves don't whiff. I hope they did that for Yoshimitsu. We'll get to him in a second. So Zhao Yu, her back 4-2. The tracking capability of the second hit has been enhanced with landing the first hit. Mitigation's occurrence whiff midway through. Okay, so she basically got nothing. Yoshimitsu, while crouching down forward 1 during whatever, they expanded the hitbox, so they just did that. Okay. Zafina, this is a character who also was very powerful because of what she did at the start of season 2. They said she had the most changes in the whole game, and now we see some of those changes are being pulled back. We see the time with opponent attack. So this is back 1-3. The damage dealt on a successful reversal was changed from 35 to 20, so that's a big change. Since the follow-up attack triggered when absorbing an attack with a Power Crush could sometimes trade hits with the opponent's attack, Power Crush properties were added to the follow-up attack as well. What? They added Power Crush properties so you can't trade with her. For back 1+2, change the chip damage on block from 10 to 5. Okay. Why do they have any moves that deal chip at 10? I think chip should be at 5 to 3. Like, why is it ever at 10? Remove the homing attack property, making it possible to evade with stepping. So that's good. With what's that? Athenium. The opponent's recovery time when blocking has been reduced by 2 frames. The advantage on block has been changed by +4 to +2. Right. So all in all, this update is pretty mid. And like I said, I can imagine people on Twitter right now crying about this. And it's kind of sad because we were expecting so much more. I do think what I will say is that even though the game was review bombed, even though players were very upset, from what it seems, the developers aren't really incentivized to change the game because they sell a lot of DLC. They sell a lot of skins. Their player numbers, yes, it's a little bit lower than season 1, but it is flatlining or maintaining at that 5,000 6,000 mark. So they did lose about 1,000 players on Steam, but with the amount of skins and stuff that they're selling, it seems like it's not really affecting them. This is what I think. I think they're making so much money off of this game and they're not really incentivized to change. All the people who uninstalled and left and quit the game, you guys are irrelevant in terms of how much money they're making. And this is basically goes back to, I think Frame Whisper said this, where the developers found a way to make money off of the game even when the game was balanced terribly. So now that they were able to do that, they are no longer financially incentivized to balance the game properly like they were in past Tekken's. Past Tekken's, Tekken 4 failed because the balance was terrible. Tak 2 failed because the balance was terrible. Tekken 8, the balance is terrible and they're still reeking in the profits. That's it though. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. And bye-bye.